just want to know like your personal top 5 horror movies.
This is actually therapy. Surprise. Yeah, so I'd say top 5 horror just of all time for me probably be Halloween, 1978, The Thing, and then I'd probably go Pet Sematary. Really love Pet Sematary. I really love Pet Sematary.
I mean, I'm not judging you for it. I just don't really hear many people say Pet Sematary. That's interesting.
I think like if I'm just thinking about like of all time, like that I've probably watched and will rewatch the most every year, like when the time comes.
Yeah.
It's probably one of them.
Mr. Crandall, there's a path over there. Do you know where it goes?
Oh. Yeah? That's a good story. A good walk. I'll take you up there sometime. Tell you the story, too.
We got Pet Sematary, we got The Thing, we got Halloween.
Oh, you know what? Let me start over. Because now that I'm thinking about it. Okay.
How about this? To make it
This
fair,
is hard.
to make it fair, you don't have to name it in order of how you rank them. Just
How I rank
your
them.
top 5.
Jaws, Halloween, The Thing, probably The Shining. I do love that as well. I'm leaning towards like being a very big Stephen King fan and John Carpenter fan here. Gotta mix it up with the last one. Let's see.
Throw a little splash of Kubrick in there.
Tony, do you think that'll get the job?
Have you ever thought for a single solitary moment about my responsibilities to my employers?
I don't know. I feel like the answer would probably be like, oh, it's Psycho, but like, I don't know. Probably not for me.
Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?
You mean an institution? A madhouse?
Do you like the Psycho series?
I do, but not like as much as another person might. Like, they're amazing, and I think I enjoy what they did for her, and like, you know, they're one of the early ones that really like scared the shit out of people when they went to see it for the first time.
I think they did those films really well. I like them all.
You do? Okay,
I
that's
do.
a fun opinion. I can do like I like Psycho 1 and Psycho 2.
Whenever Arrow came out with that Psycho box set on 4K, and actually watching them, you know, going through them all, I thought that it was really dope. Like the way the story just picked up from like one movie to the next. It reminded me of like Saw, like a long soap opera.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
I kind of like the continuity of all of that.
Okay, very fair. I feel like that's not a very popular opinion. I feel like a lot of people would say.
Yeah,
but that's cool.
That's I actually enjoy. To be honest, I probably enjoy part 2. I'm not gonna say that.
Say it.
I'm not gonna say that. I'll just let it be.
Yeah, let it rock.
You will forget that you even have one of those things. Do you understand me, boy? There, that should help you forget it. See? Look at yourself, boy. Ha, girl. Yes, girl.
No.
Mama's little girl.
I'm not a girl. No, Mother, please.
So you said Psycho, Jaws, The Thing, Halloween. What was your 5th?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Christine.
Christine.
I just love that movie. Yeah. Anyway, what are yours?
That's a tough question.
Isn't it hard? It's like
it's hard.
There's so many that I probably choose.
I think it depends on like the phase of life I'm in.
Yes.
You know?
That's so true though.
Because like growing up, 100% Halloween was always my number 1. I would put that movie over anything.
Who is it? Tommy, open up, it's me! Tommy, please! Tommy, hurry up!
Growing up, I also like Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Like that was another big one. Demons was always on the list for me because that was something I saw from a very young age. Yeah. And then Night of the Demons also. It's a toss up for my fifth for between like A Nightmare on Elm Street or like Alice Sweet Alice. But I think I would, as a kid, I probably would pick A Nightmare on Elm Street because that literally scared the out of me.
Yeah. See, that would be totally different list for me as well. Like when I was a kid versus like
Now it's like,
it's hard.
that's the thing. Like now, I don't know. I still love Halloween.
That's
I
number
still
one. That's
love
just that's the one.
I just don't know if I would put it in my top 5 anymore.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, well, it really depends because like if you're talking like 2000s on, that would be a
Yeah.
totally different list than like, you know, my original
sure.
favorites. You know what I mean? For me, like when I named like my top 5, it's like ones that I never get tired of. Will rewatch, just like they're just my favorites. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
necessarily the best horror movies that are out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's just like Jaws is like obviously a great movie, but it's like, is it one of the best horror movies ever? Probably not. But it's one that I love and will rewatch. You know what I mean? So that's like the difference.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
Like some of them, I'm sure everyone has some type of like connection to all of them, which is why they're their favorites. Maybe it's the first one you ever seen. Maybe it's something you watch with your mom or your dad for the first time, or the first movie you saw in the theaters. I find like usually those films are the ones that people like hold on to as like their favorites.
Your top, yeah.
Halloween was technically like the first movie that was introduced to me. Like my babysitter at the time was just like, "Hey, you gotta watch this
Not
movie."
the babysitter.
Yes. She was like, "You gotta watch Halloween." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And I sat down and watched it. Obviously, I was a kid. It scared the out of me. You know, when she would take me to Blockbuster to go rent movies, I was never allowed to really pick the movies. But then one day, you know, they just decided to let me. And the first one I grabbed was Alice Sweet Alice.
The best, though.
So
that's another one that would probably be on my list. But
that's another one why I said why I like that connection of just like the experience of first being introduced to them. And then Demons was another one where I was like, I think I was at like a friend's house when I was a kid, like having a sleepover, and his dad had demons on.
And you were just like,
and we were all kids, and I was terrified, like under my sleeping bag, like what the hell? Just all the sounds like me up as a kid.
That's one of those movies, like the gore and the practical effects in it. When we were kids, it was like, blew our minds. Yeah.
Get out! Everybody get away! Get out! What are you waiting for? Run!
I feel like a lot of people, some people get kind of snooty about like what they like, what's a, you know, real film buffs. Like I don't consider myself, you know, I just like them and I like talking about them. But some people will get really picky about it. But I just think like if you have like a connection to it and you genuinely enjoy it,
exactly,
that's your favorite. Like
that's all that matters.
Who cares? That's all. Literally all that matters.
I'm sure there's a bunch of shitty movies that I like that most people will probably be like, the hell this guy talking about?
Yeah, that's the fun part. I love when people like send me like random, just like, have you seen this like really weird, obscure, just like, you know, and I was talking about The Eyes of My Mother, like I saw that and they were like, oh, it's super disturbing, go and watch it. And I did, and it was really weird. And I was like, all right, like I like kind of, you know, stretching the boundaries and seeing like how far, like what is too much for me kind of thing. I mean, everyone has their own thing that they like to do with horror. That's the fun part about it.
The masturbating gunman. He's here.
Hello?
I feel like we've gotten to, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like I've gotten to a point to where like maybe, you know, from watching these so much repeatedly in high school, you know, college, everything, I need a kind of a refresher to where it like gets me excited about film again. So this is why like I discover and like go into like cult films and watch cult films and blind buy them on physical media, because it's like just a world that I didn't know existed, and it was like the shit came out in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. So it's like exploring these films like that also gets me like excited about like being a horror fan. So which is why, like, if I name my top 5 today, it could be completely off the wall compared to like, you know, growing up, like my core top 5. But you know, the core movies: Texas, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Not the first one, Part 4. All of them, all of them have like that connection, you know.
Yeah.
Come to Freddy.
My dad actually, he introduced us to movies. It was like all the stuff, you know, mom's gone out of the house, you know, we're just watching what we shouldn't be watching. So when we were kids, it was like Jaws, Jurassic Park, Halloween, all these, like a lot of Fulci movies, just like bad B sci-fi movies that he always had on. One that I shared recently, Duel, that was a huge one. Like, I consider it horror. I know it's more like thriller, like adventure, but to me, when I was a kid, that truck driver in that movie scared the shit out of me. Like, every time I saw like an oil tanker anywhere, I was like, that man is gonna kill our entire family.
Get back in the bus, please! Please! Come on! Come on, back in the bus!
I was so serious about it. So yeah, just like my dad just introduced us, and as I started watching, I was like, I like the feeling of, you know, I was kind of an anxious kid anyway, but like having a place to put all of that anxiety and like watching movies. Yeah, that's kind of why I've kept up with it, because it gives me a place to like go and like be like in this closed space and just be anxious and like have that feeling, and then like I get to go out and like, you know, conquer the world and not feel anxious, because there isn't a truck driver that's trying to kill me like every time I'm driving, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I got into it, and then I just continued, and I was always the weird kid at like all the sleepovers that was like, let's watch a horror movie, and everyone's like, right, can we just like play with our dolls and like hang out? Like, what are you doing?
Jessica?
Don't I look like Dolly now?
I remember finding like a VHS tape with like Friday the 13th Part 1, 2, 3, 4 all on one tape. Somebody recorded it off of TV or something like that. Yeah. So I will go sneak in the basement and watch them like that. And you know, I was so afraid of them for so long that it kind of just brewed into this like conquering my fear type of thing.
Oh, you're probably so cute when you were scared.
I look like a little Asian kid with a mushroom cut.
With the bowl, no.
I had the bowl cut.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
I hate you. Hi, I'm Tommy.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
Awesome.
Like, just from being introduced to it from like babysitters and stuff like that. If you can please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest videos. Thank you for joining me, Tay.
Of course, thank you.
And until next time, I guess we'll see you all soon.